all states do. I mean, the United States and Canada has arguments once in a while.
The formalities over, President Obama removes his jacket and the Prime Minister follows suit.
James Clapper confirmed this week Iran has not decided to develop a nuclear weapon and that it would be...
Obama, quote, faced a mixed reception, which included a hug from Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas.
And with that, we're back again. Hi there, I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Monica Solmark.
It's so good to have you along today because we are here with the conscious revolution that is the internet. And yes, we've been paying attention. Obama is in Israel. Apparently someone put bad fuel in his tank.
Yeah, well.
Well, diesel and gas are easy to get confused.
I think someone's out of a job.
But wait till this clip hits you right upside the head. It's Radio Free Canada. Check this out.
Afford to have our kids in beds sleeping and suddenly a rocket comes through the roof. But my argument is, even though both sides may have areas of strong disagreement, may be engaging in activities that the other side considers to be a breach of good faith, we have to push through those things to try to get to an agreement, because if we get an agreement, then it will be very clear what the nature of that agreement is. There will be a sovereign Palestinian state, a sovereign Jewish state of Israel, and those two states, I think, will be able to deal with each other the same way all states do. I mean, the United States and Canada has arguments once in a while, but they're not the nature of arguments that can't be solved diplomatically.
Wow, and I can't believe that. Obama comparing Israel-Palestine relations with Canada-American relations.
Yeah, I don't think we're living under apartheid here.
Unless you're native.
Yeah, wow.
And then you live under apartheid, and then it would be a case of Harper is Israel and the Aboriginals are Palestine.
How come the natives never pull the genocide Holocaust card?
Well, actually they do. It's just major media is not carrying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Okay, because remember, we've got major media that ignores a Holocaust of that proportions. Remember, 90 million Aboriginals lived in North America before Christopher Columbus discovered a great big empty continent.
Ooh, empty. Those people don't really exist, do they?
No. The history books say it was an empty continent with 90 million people. Let's run it. Excuse me, but it chokes me up when Obama goes to kiss butt.
To the promised land.
To the promised land.
Mwah.
Let's go check it out.
A comment about the weather and friendly hugs setting the tone for the visit.
It's a beautiful day.
One that is largely about improving what has been a sometimes fractious relationship. And in his first public remarks, President Obama made a pointed reference to the Jewish right to the land that predates the formation of the Israeli state.
I know that in stepping foot on this land, I walk with you on the historic homeland of the Jewish people.
No mention of the Palestinian issue. That was left to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
In an unstable and uncertain Middle East, the need for our alliance is greater than ever. It's the key to thwarting dangers to advancing peace. It's the key to achieve a stable and secure peace that the people of Israel yearn for all our neighbors and with all our hearts. We seek a peace with our Palestinian neighbors.
The formalities over, President Obama removes his jacket and the Prime Minister follows suit, throwing into even sharper focus the matching blue ties. But in the days ahead, differences between the two may still emerge. The dispute over settlement building that marked Obama's first term continues to simmer. And when he crosses into occupied territory, this is what President Obama may see. Thousands of new homes still being built for Jewish settlers, despite repeated U.S. protest and Palestinian complaint. President Obama says he's just here to talk, but behind the smiles and the handshakes, the visits to symbolic sites, is a barren reality forged through decades of futile peacemaking.
There can be no progress unless these facts on the ground, the concrete expression of Israeli occupation, are the focus of any U.S. involvement in negotiation. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, East Jerusalem.
Of course, you never see a report like that on CBC or Global.
Oh, no.
No.
Or CNN or ABC or MSNBC.
It's not patriotic.
No.
Well, come on, guys.
No, I get you, okay? I mean, you know, one Jewish state under all. Okay,
there you go. And matching ties. Did you see
know.
that?
Did they phone each other ahead of
That
time?
looked good.
They did. You know, they looked so good.
My guy called your guy.
And then they said, hey, blue ties today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Public.
Hides the BS, I guess.
I don't know, man. It's sort of like who's dressing these guys. That's the other question, too. But I don't know who's making up their foreign policy. We see through the BS. We know that the apartheid state of Israel is in the wrong.
Absolutely.
And Jews in New York are standing up against him, saying Zionism is not Judaism. It's just a fact. But, you know, far be it for me to point something out like that.
I think I smell a banker in this.
Well, we do have a mainstream story about this visit.
Okay. Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
You want to run it? Okay, let's run this. Okay, collective grin.
Grinning.
Yes, okay, check this out.
The heavily armored presidential limousine, known as the Beast, was towed away in Jerusalem before Obama even landed in Israel. An official said it malfunctioned Wednesday morning when its driver filled up using regular gas instead of diesel.
They're very, very meticulous about that sort of thing, and I'm quite surprised. And I can tell you they did not knowingly put in the wrong type of fuel.
Ralph Basham is a former director of the Secret Service. You've had people come in here at your garage where they've mixed it up.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've had them towed in like that. And you've got to drain the tank, you know, and you refill it, and it's usually fine.
Dave Woody Woodall runs an Exxon station blocks from the Capitol. He says this mix-up is pretty common.
I imagine they're pretty embarrassed.
They are, and 9 times out of 10, somebody else did it. So that's always the story. You know, I didn't do this, but my friend, you know, borrowed my car. And we hear that a lot.
Yeah, but that's probably not going to fly in this case. When you're talking about the presidential limo, this kind of mistake is serious business. And former Secret Service Director Basham says there will no doubt, Wolf, be a full investigation. The Secret Service isn't saying a whole lot about this, though, just that one of their protective vehicles experienced mechanical problems, and they say that's why they bring multiple vehicles on these kinds of trips, as well as a mechanic.
Okay, so usually we don't do this, but open speculation time. I mean, come on.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Right, but...
I mean, how do you get that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, and this guy's highly trained. You're not the limo driver of the tank that's the Beast for Obama without knowing your, you know...
You're a trained Secret Service agent.
Yeah, okay. And then, okay, but... if you were setting up the leader of the free world to, say, explode, you might want to take away his explosion-proof, you know, limo. I'm not saying that it's a conspiracy theory.
No, but you're not the first one to say that either.
Can I say magic bullet?
Oh, yes. Wow. No. We don't want to look backward.
Gulf of Tonkin. I don't know.
Invasion of Iraq.
Yeah. Oh,
WMDs.
Okay. WMDs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Far be it from me to point out any facts here. Apparently, there is a little bit of what? What do you got for me, brother?
Well, this is a little bit more BS and bad manners from our commander-in-chief, or their commander-in-chief, not ours.
I don't know. If you just listen to Harper, it's our commander-in-chief, too. Yeah. Okay. Let's run this.
The U.S. Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, confirmed this week Iran has not decided to develop a nuclear weapon and that it would be unable to do so secretly. Testifying before the Senate, Clapper said Iran could not divert safeguarded material to produce weapons-grade uranium without it being discovered. Despite Clapper's statements, President Obama raised the prospect of Iran developing a nuclear weapon during an interview Thursday with an Israeli television station ahead of his visit to Israel next week.
There's a window, not an infinite period of time, but a window of time where we can resolve this diplomatically, and that it is in all of our interests, Israel, the United States, the world, and Iran's, if we can resolve this diplomatically. Now, we think that it would take over a year or so for Iran to actually develop a nuclear weapon, but But obviously, we don't want to cut it too close. And what we're going to be doing is to continue to engage internationally with Iran, understanding that we've set up the toughest sanctions ever. It's having a significant effect.
Okay, sort of like Harper and the scientists, he just ignores the CIA.
This is the national intelligence estimate given by the head of that agency.
I love it when the government, function says this is an intelligence estimate.
Yes, well, intelligence and government,
Yeah, oxymoron.
That is an estimate.
Yeah. And then, of course, we hear constantly Iran, weapons of mass destruction. They're actually not going to say the statement because of the way it worked out last time.
Yeah, but we've heard this. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I didn't like how that one turned out.
And they've been rattling their sabers about this for a long time. Now, of course, we have Stephen Harper jumping right in saying that we need to support Israel no matter what. And I don't think that that's reality. We do not need to support them.
The rest of the world is having a bit of a different view.
Yes.
Well, isn't this about, raising up the economy because war is good for jobs?
Yes.
Well, yes, war is good business.
I still smell bankers.
According to the Christian right wing, war is good for the economy. That news and more coming up with Radio Free Canada, but let's cover this while we got a chance.
President Obama headed to the West Bank to meet with Palestinian leaders Thursday morning after meeting with Israeli heads of state Wednesday. Thursday's focus gauging the possibility of restarting peace talks between Palestinian leaders and Israel. The meeting was somewhat overshadowed by a rocket fire from Gaza into southern Israel. While no one was injured, this might reflect how some were feeling about Mr. Obama's visit. A staff writer for NBC News notes President Obama, quote, faced a mixed reception, which included a hug from Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, but also scores of demonstrators protesting the visit. This recent clash comes on the heels of intense fighting between the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip and Israeli forces this past November. The rocket fire during Mr. Obama's visit broke a ceasefire. Calling for a two-state solution, President Obama's strategy is for these forces to continue direct negotiations. He says he believes Palestinians deserve an end to occupation and a, quote, future of home, rhetoric that mirrors his speech in Cairo 4 years ago. That's when he said, the only resolution is for the aspirations of both sides to be met through two states, where Israelis and Palestinians each live in peace and security. But as a writer for the Christian Science Monitor points out, Palestine is far from this goal, with this most recent attack being a sign that tension in the region is only rising. For many Palestinians, the roots of this hostility are simple. Obama comes bearing no good news at all. He has no plan to restart the peace process or to offer any concrete initiatives to get Palestinians and Israelis back to direct talks, which have been on hold since 2010. Despite those concerns, NBC News reports Abbas now says he has renewed confidence in U.S. assistance with the peace process after Thursday's meeting.
Hear there was a rocket attack?
No.
I did.
You did?
But
Okay.
then I have the internet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, Global CBC doesn't have the internet.
And I do have the internet. However, I never thought to actually look up rocket attack.
Yeah.
Well, Obama was there.
Well, I was on Obama-Israel visit, but anyway.
Yeah, make sure you get your search engines out there. Don't trust us. Check out our facts, because we are not major media. But shocking that we didn't hear about the major protests in Israel against his visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're setting up a tent city by the settlements, too.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're wondering whether or not the Israeli army will tear them down while he's still there.
Yeah, because, boy, that's bad press.
That is very bad press.
Trying to avoid the bad press thing while the leader of the so-called free world extorts democracy.
But the Palestinian Authority really has no hope that there'll be a peace process started because they're not mentioning the settlements and Israel is still building them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they said. If you stop the settlement building, we'll come to the table. And Israel says, nah, we're going to steal some more of your land.
Yeah, well, I don't think they really want peace in the Middle East.
That doesn't sound like trust building to me.
No, if someone keeps moving in your backyard, takes over your living room, well, that's apparently democracy. Radio Free Canada, I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Monica Solmark.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, check out Monica at prohealthnow.ca. And make sure you stay with us on Facebook and on YouTube. as we bring you the news and information. We'll be right back, and remember, major Idle No More update coming from these studios.